Oh, okay. If you want to come on, come on. I think I know who you are. If you'd like to come on, come on. Welcome you, church in Morocco. There was a great worship tape from Morocco from ex-Muslims, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Oh my goodness! It used to make me cry because I know these all these ex-Muslims, and they still sing to Issa. They sing to Issa. So, hey brother, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. How are you?
I'm fine, and you? You know
Yeah.
me, brother.
Oh
I'm
yes,
the
I.
Church of Christ.
Yeah, but you changed your pic.
Yes, yes, I did change the channel. I changed the channel, so I focus now on Morocco.
Oh, and how is that different from what you did before?
There are many differences. Like I thought in before that the West they don't know Islam, but I see that there are many people are exposing Islam, so that's why I went and I focus now on Moroccan.
Oh, do you do your program in Arabic?
I do, yes. I do have a website and sometimes I do videos. It's
Mhm.
still hard to do in Arabic, but
How about
I'm French. No, I don't like French.
French?
No, no, I prefer Arabic or English.
Yeah. So what's going on in Morocco these days in regard to the kingdom of God?
Uh, it's uh, it's okay. It still need works. There are some problems, but it's just how can I say? It's the missionaries are doing a big problems. Missionaries from the West. I wish that they can send people like you who knows what they are doing. Well, we have people they don't know how to preach the gospel. They even and there is a mix between like denominations. Like you find Pentecostal and Baptist and they don't know what they are doing. That's the problem here, and they bring fake believers because for them is the number. They care about the number. They don't care. So this is the problem. But there are people coming to Christ, and thanks God for this. And people are searching and they are asking questions.
Praise
So God is working.
the Lord. And are you getting much interaction on your channel?
As I'm not focusing now on the channel because, as I said, it's hard to make videos in Arabic.
Okay.
But I do have a website, and I do have uh, people coming and asking questions. Some from different cities they are asking to be connected to the groups so they can be baptized.
Oh wow! Praise the Lord.
So that's a good thing, and God is working, and we are trying to to share the gospel because this is what God tells us to do.
So, what do you tell somebody when they say that Muhammad was the best person who ever lived?
So I am the perfect person that is living now. I, I told them, well, show me how he was perfect. Tell me, tell me how he was perfect. I can show you that he wasn't perfect in many ways. And when people they are trying to see now these things because before they don't. You need to. I know you understand this. It's the fear that people have to ask questions. Like uh, if they ask you, Muhammad was a good person, and you tell them and you ask them a question, so they run away.
Mm.
Just a few people that sit for the. So if Muhammad was a good person, can you tell me how Jesus was? Just compare a little bit Muhammad and Jesus, and tell me who was the good person.
Mm.
And when they look at Jesus, even the Islam and the Quran, they admit that Jesus never sinned. You know that the Satan came to like
Poke
ينخص
the
ينخص, yeah, and he couldn't do that. But with Muhammad, they took the sin from him. They say
Mm-hmm.
it was in his heart,
Yes.
and so Muhammad was a sinner. Jesus wasn't a sinner,
Yes.
and who is not a sinner? It's no Muhammad. People know that Muhammad wasn't a good guy. He can, but they are afraid to say that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I remember when I was a Muslim, that one thing is that I really wanted to elevate Muhammad and to, you know, to show how
Yeah,
great he was. But I really couldn't. You know, there was nothing there, nothing that inspired me, nothing in the story of Muhammad that inspired me. Whereas Jesus, with his power, with his words, with his uh, self-giving, you know, I was so inspired by Jesus compared to Muhammad. You know, even when I was a Muslim, the only thing I could, because I used to be kind of an artist. I used to like to draw pictures, and whenever I wanted to draw Muhammad, the only thing I could draw was when he's riding a donkey through from Saudi Arabia to Jerusalem.
yeah.
The magic donkey. And with Jesus, though, he's raising the dead. He's feeding 5,000. He's giving his life for others.
Yeah, this is the difference, brother, that you know about Christ. There are a lot of people they don't know about Christ.
Hmm.
What they know is about Isa.
Hmm.
And Isa in the Quran, it's a short story, and it's also, how can I say, it's a fake story,
Yeah, it's fake.
not the real story. So people to know Christ, so they need to read the Bible. But it's hard for them here. I'm talking about people here. They don't know the Bible, and if they heard about the Bible, they heard that it is corrupt,
Yes.
and there are a lot of warning. Do not touch it. Do not read it. It's not from God, so it's gonna mislead you. So
Yes.
you know the the game of Islam is always warning people to go and search for the truth. So
Mm.
this is how Islam is keeping people, make them scared, make them afraid to look at the truth. But when they decide to break that bridge and start to question, be sure that God gonna lead them to the truth.
Yes. Well, they did. I'm wondering if they did anything like this in Morocco, because yesterday I was talking to some guy, and the fact that I was telling them that Iran is no longer a Muslim majority country. Iran, and and you know, I had heard about this survey that they did in Iran,
Yeah,
and it was a survey of 50,000 people in Iran. And
yeah.
of those 50,000, only 32% considered themselves Muslims.
Wow.
Only 32% considered themselves Muslims. And I'm thinking, what? This is the most radical Muslim country in the world. And yet only 32% considered themselves Muslim. And I'm thinking, well, in Africa, there's that they did that research a couple of years ago, Ahmed Qatada, that said that, Africa is no longer a Muslim majority continent
Yeah.
because so many are leaving Islam every year. And have you heard anything specifically about Morocco?
What I heard and what I know is that there are many live in Islam.
Hmm.
Some of them they are going. I think the big number is going to atheists.
Oh, okay.
You know, there are a lot of atheists Moroccans,
Okay.
and there are some going to Christians, and there are some going to others like Baha'i or something like that. Well, if you look at the Islam, there is no Muslim country now. Muslims they cannot follow Islam. I'm talking about the true Islam. The Islam that Muhammad praised, they cannot practice it now. They cannot. No country is, even Saudi Arabia, cannot practice this Islam because they are facing other civilization.
Hmm.
And, you know, it's like Daesh. You saw Daesh. That's the Islam, the true Islam. And it was even rejected by Muslims. So no Muslim, they are not. There is a light. How can I say that? It's a light version now of Islam.
Islam light. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they make it light. Even here in Morocco, you find a Muslims going to a bar and every day drinking. But
Wow.
when you talk to him about Muhammad and you say something about Muhammad, he become like more than Baghdadi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is the devil way of controlling people and playing with their mind. So I don't see that there is an Islamic country 100%.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist now. It's not
Yeah.
like before in the Umayyads or Abbasids or this. It was 100% Islam. They follow Islam, but now they mix the even in the constitution of Morocco. It's not Islamic constitution. It's a mix of French and some of Islam. It's like in inheritance. Okay, they keep in inheritance, and even now in the divorce in Morocco, a woman can ask for the divorce,
Wow.
and this is against Islam.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
So
Morocco had a big French influence, didn't it?
it was in the past, but now they are killing it. Morocco now it's want to be away from French.
Oh, okay.
I think that's it's good because Moroccans now they learn how to decide by themselves what to choose,
Yes.
and that's what we need. It's according like about Christians here, the government is okay with it. You can be a Christian.
And can you leave Islam?
You can, yes. They
Wow.
will not. They don't do the government.
Okay.
But the problem is people, is the community,
Okay.
and the government cannot protect you from. At least that's what they say. That's what the government say that you can. But it's like we are allowed to have one Bible. If they catch you with one more than Bible, so that means you are trying to convert people, so you go to jail. That's عقيدة المسلم. It is still in the constitution of Morocco. It's a crime.
Oh. What about Algeria?
Algeria, I don't know much. I don't
Oh.
know much about because there the system is crazy. They are they have a lot of problem with Morocco. Maybe they are going to war or something.
With Morocco?
Yeah, so I don't go there.
Oh, wow.
I don't I don't I don't know. But there are a lot of Algerian Christians there, and they were a movement before that there were a lot of like house churches and some churches open churches, and they closed them. I heard.
Oh, wow.
So because Algeria now is under the influence of Iran, if you know that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there are many Shia now
Wow.
in in Algeria. But as you know, God's work all the time.
Mm,
We're not it's working among Muslims in a way. It's like for me, no one preached the gospel to me, and there are many people. No one preached the gospel to them. They find the truth because God find them,
yeah.
and because when you are honest to find the truth, God. That's our responsibility is to preach the gospel. Because
Yes.
because what I found is people don't know about the Bible. They don't know about Jesus Christ. What they know is the media, what the media telling them, what the imams telling them, but they don't know mm, what is really going on. Where is the truth? So, so this is our responsibility, to preach the gospel to people,
Yeah.
and for them to decide. They are
Yeah.
free to decide. Like for me, I don't try to convince people to become Christians. I give them the gospel. I give them the answers. I like encourage them to go and find the the answers, and it's free for them. It's like you heard that some people are this is 7 steps how to preach a Muslims, and some asking how to preach a Muslim. Well, read the Bible and you will find how to reach.
Yes.
Preach yourself, preach Christ to yourself first.
Yeah.
It will be easy for you to preach the gospel to others. That's it.
Yes. Amen. Well, everybody, depending on what situation you're in and where you are, there's different ways to do it. And,
Yeah,
I don't, that's why I don't, anybody who's doing anything, I usually just say, praise God, keep doing it. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it, if you are preaching the gospel. And because everybody does it differently,
yeah,
everybody's got their own approach, but as long as you're doing something, usually the ones who are criticizing the most are the ones who aren't doing anything.
yeah,
They're the critics. They know exactly what you're not supposed to do,
yeah,
but they don't know what you are supposed to do because they're not doing nothing. So
yeah. Because God Himself is doing things in different way. God
yeah.
reveal Himself uh, by visions.
Hmm.
God
Yeah.
reveals Himself by prophets. He sent prophets. He give us the Bible.
Yes.
God has different way. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. People who criticize is that the one that. Well, I don't care how someone do. It's like I cannot do it like you do it.
Hmm.
I cannot go out and like stand in the streets and tell them come to the Christ because I will not be there for 1 minute. But yeah, but for you, this is the way He is using you
Yeah.
to preach the gospel, and the others, but the important thing is to preach the true gospel.
Yes.
The way how you do it, it's not a problem.
Yes.
But the important thing is to preach the true gospel.
Yeah.
The way there are some people that should don't not offend Muslims when you show them the gospel. Really, if you don't want to offend them, don't do it.
Don't
But
talk
don't,
to them at all.
but don't tell me, you
Yeah.
know, what to do in that matter because I listen to God.
Yes. Yeah.
Because God who tell me, because this is the promise of God. God tell us that He will give us the words to answer people.
Yeah.
So why do I need? Because you know, because I see here like missionaries that coming from the West here. They have a lack of knowledge of the Bible first, and I don't know how they sent them there here and why they sent them. To be honest, because it's easy to the easiest thing is to preach the gospel. It's like you are saying the story, but the big difficulty is to tell people the truth. If you understand what I'm saying,
Yes.
is to tell them, because you can't say the story of Jesus. It's easy story to say it, but are you going to say in that story the whole truth or not?
Mm.
That's what matter for God, because God wants people to really confess and repent and know Him for, know Him for really. So don't give Him a light version
Hmm.
of God. Like you said before, God is love. Yeah, He's love, but He is also will destroy
Yes.
the enemies.
That's right.
God is love, but
Mm.
He is just also.
Yes.
Just He will punish the people that uh,
Yes.
don't follow Him.
Yes. You know, brother, we've had several people who have asked that you would, if you would share your testimony.
Okay,
Could
I
you
do.
could you do that just in about 10 minutes or so?
Okay, yeah, we can now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's more than 10 minutes, but I will try to make it.
All
Hi,
right.
Tiger. Hi, Tiger. God bless you, brother. Good to see you. Uh, well, as in Morocco, we are all like we born as a Muslims. We are in we grow up as a Muslim. So I grew up as a Muslim. I went to the school. I was, you know, I was taking lessons of Islam, and it's like when I was like an adult person. So I was reading the story of Jesus, the Jesus, and I had some question about it. Like I didn't understand what really happened to Jesus from the Quran. It's like why? Because the Quran is telling you that Jesus was the Jews want to kill him, but Allah was take him and replace him with another guy. So, brother Steve, if you don't understand something, stop me and ask me. Is that okay? Hello, I am here. I think I think I am not here. Can you hear me, guys? Hello, can you hear me, guys?
He just stepped away for a second. He'll be back.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. I thought I was out. I thought it was me. Yeah. So the Muslims, so the Quran teach that the Jews they want to kill Isa, but Allah take and replace. So I was asking why the Jews wanted to kill him, and I went to and I tried to search in the tafsirs. So I found a weird story that's like they were a king. That wasn't in that time, and it wasn't anyone in that time. So this led me to ask because when I went to ask like imams or teachers at school, they they want to stop me asking this question. It's like why Jesus, why he's different than other prophets? Like he came without no father. Why he wasn't? Why the devil couldn't like touch him? Like you know the miracles that he was doing. Uh, it's not normal. So these questions they lead me to other questions. So I start to like compare between. I'd like to ask questions about the Islam. So one day I was talking with some friends about these topics about the religions, and one of them is a Muslim. He was a Muslim. He told me that he has the Bible. Someone came from the Europe and gave it to him. So and he doesn't want the to read it. So I asked him to give it to me. So and he gave it to me. And in that time, I don't know any Christian, and there was no internet. I'm talking about like 1993. So so I start to read the Bible. Honestly, first I didn't like the language because it was easy to understand. It was an easy language, but the Quran is like a high level. You cannot understand it. You need someone to explain it to you. So so I start to understand. I start to understand a little bit the story you know of Jesus, and also the story of the creation, how God, the Bible is giving details how God is creating this world and how He work with the world. In Islam you cannot find these things. Islam is you can find like different stories about how God created this. If it's 8 days or 6 days, or you know. So so I want so I went that time in like comparing between Islam and I saw the teaching, how what Islam teach and what the Bible is teaching about love and peace, and it was like really teaching that is not in Islam. It's like in Islam, if someone do something to you, do better for him,
Yes.
to him, do the best for him, to punish him, and so there is no love. Islam doesn't teach. So I found this, and I found a lot of, like, I asked the question how Muhammad become a prophet. How he said that he was a prophet, and it's like it's a crazy story. It's like there were a lot of things that you know I was finding, and when I went to like ask imams or teachers, they always want to beat me. Stop asking this question. Stop, don't ask this question. This is what our ancestors give us. You have to accept it, and you know maybe the devil is trying to deceive you with these questions, and
Hmm.
but more I read the Bible, more I know. I see the truth. Till one day I ask God to like open my heart to the truth, because I want to know the truth, and I want to live by the truth. It wasn't an easy decision, because you need to think about your family, your neighbors, your friends, and so so I prayed to God to you know open my heart and my mind to see the truth and to know the truth, and He did, and from that time, from 1993 till now, I am following Christ. Uh, Even it's not easy, but I have joy of God. It's
Hallelujah.
easy. It's easy when you think about what we're gonna have in the future. Like we are going to be with God, and we will be with the Father, rejoicing for eternal life. You know, this it's make easy in this life to live this in difficulty. So this is the I try to abbreviate.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of details, like, and questions how this it will take a long time to do.
What's interesting, I've heard that particular dilemma you found yourself in. I've heard other ex-Muslims say that, and it's the same, almost the same issue that you had. Um, that there was this one person I taught, she was sharing her testimony. And the thing that she said is she read about Jesus and she heard, and she had more questions and she kept asking about him and there was no answers. And none of the answers made sense. And she wanted to know more about Jesus. I mean, it's written about in the Quran. I mean, the Quran talks about Jesus.
Yeah.
So she wanted to know more than the Quran could answer. And so she ended up asking a Christian and then found out the answer. So I remember this from when you shared, I think about 2 years ago, you did share your testimony on our channel here. And I remember that's one aspect that I remembered is that you said you wanted to understand why did they want to kill him?
Yeah. Yeah, because if you look at the story of Isa in the Quran,
Mhm.
you will see, and you look to the tafsir, and I see this people don't talk about it too much. It's a crazy story. It's like if you look at what Ibn Kathir said, was a ruler in that time. His name Khastos or Khastos or and that guy doesn't exist in that time. So what this mean is Muslims they were just writing things to to make the Islam. There was nothing there was nothing it's like based on history or on the truth. They just yeah like if Muslims start to asking questions about Muhammad and about Allah and the connection between Allah and people, I'm sure they will find like a lot of things that you know they will not accept what Islam teach about it. But people they don't know about this thing because they are busy in like now when I watch TV, Moroccan TV, and they say a religious program is like what they are busy about. What if I don't have water? To do wudu. What if what if what if I'm praying and someone was singing? It's they are busy with question that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything in the relationship between God and the people. And this is what the Bible is making a reconciliation between God and people, because this is the big problem people have in this life is that relationship was broken, and only God who can fix this relationship, and He can fix it not by forcing us, but giving us a free will to choose. He give us the free will to choose if we want to reconcile with God or not. And this is what Muslims they don't know about.
One thing when I became a Christian, and one thing that I felt happened is that it felt like there was a steel trap around my head.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the Lord came, it came off. And it was like I was free to think. And it was literally, I felt like a steel trap was taken off of my mind. Like I was free to actually think about things that I was afraid to think before,
Yeah. This is the problem with Muslims. It's like this is what the devil game in Islam is to control the mind of people
Yes.
by by putting in their mind if you do this, Allah will do this to you. If you if you think like that, Allah will destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also Muslims have this fear, like to think out the box. or to look to something else, or to ask question even about Allah. Who is Allah? Muslims cannot ask it. Ask a Muslim, ask a scholar, who is Allah? He doesn't know, and he will tell you, don't ask this question. He will
Mhm.
tell you Allah is the creator, and what else?
Yeah.
They don't know. Even the scholars of Muslims, they don't. And you know the story of Mu'tazila. When they start asking this question, they kill them.
Yes.
So it's forbidden. And this is, yeah, it's the devil is putting, so, like you said, it's like putting you in a jail.
Mhm.
So do not think, keeping
Yes.
you. But if you ask question, and God was Jesus, he was asked many questions. I think if I was in the place of Jesus, I would tell people, go away, think what you want to. But Jesus was so patient, and he was giving answers, and also ask his followers to give answers to people, because people has the freedom. If you don't ask, you cannot know. How can
Yes.
you know if you don't ask question?
Mhm.
And this is what Islam is against. It's to ask question. If you ask question, you are a kafir.
Yes. You know, since I've got you here, and your Arabic is perfect. You know, my Arabic is not perfect, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions about Arabic.
Well, no one is Arabic is perfect, because
Yeah.
only Sibawayh who makes the rule of. Before Sibawayh, there was no rule in Arabic, so you can say whatever you want to say.
Oh, okay.
Now your Arabic is good.
Yeah, thanks. You know, there is a verse. First of all, the word in the statement by Allah, "Inni mutawaffiku rafi'aki ilayya."
Uh,
What is it?
in, in if you say, if when you say mutawafik, it's coming from wafat. Wafat is dead. In mutawafik, I mean, it's like I put you to death,
Mhm.
and I rose you,
I raised you. Yes.
raise you, or I live you up.
Hmm.
No, this is the only wafat means dead, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
wafat is dead.
so, what about like لما توفيتني كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم?
Well, when you put me to the death, you were the one that's observing them, or watching them,
Yes.
or ruling over them.
Now, لما توفيتني, is
Yeah.
this something that's going to happen in the future?
Well, this is you need to ask Muslims, because uh, in that time Isa, he was speaking in the future. That he was put in death. It's like he was arose from the dead. Do you understand what I'm saying?
He was raised.
Right, it's like he was talking like he was raised from the dead, because he
Uh,
said, when did you put me to death? So it was in the past that he was put in the death.
you
And now
see,
he and now he's speaking. That means he was, أقامه من الموت. And أقيم من الموت. He was raised from the dead to be able to speak.
yes.
So even in the Quran, you see that Jesus was arose from the dead. But Muslims, they will tell you that mutawafika mean was sleeping.
Yeah.
No, it's wafat. Sleeping is sleep. Inni kunti munimuka.
Uh-huh.
If he,
Inni unimuka. Yes, I
yeah,
have. That's hilarious. That's so
he
funny.
could say inni kunti munimuka.
Uh,
And why he said wafat is dead.
yeah.
Muslims, they try to play with the vocabularies, and they
Yeah.
say no, wafat is dead. And Jesus in that verse, the Quran, it's not Jesus. Jesus never said that, but the Quran admits from that verse that Jesus was rose from the dead.
Mhm.
But the Muslim scholars, they want to hide that from people.
Yeah.
And if Muslims want to think, just search about the real meaning of the word wafat or mutawafik, and they find that Jesus was arose from the dead.
Yes. And yeah, that that kind of along those lines, I was going to ask you something else. Call Allah. Where is it? Okay. I want to show you this verse right here.
Okay.
I want to show you this verse, and I'd like for you to tell me, of course, I use it the way I use it, and I'm always going to use it the way I use it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to ask you this right here. Could you tell us what this says?
اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح. So like it's the saying that the Jews and the Christians, they took their rabbi and their priests. It's like their lords without Jesus and God. So here, this is clear that it's putting Jesus and Allah in the same level, that he need to be worship عن دون من دون the الرهبان من دون الأرباب الآخرين.
Yes.
Because here in this sentence is Jesus is like in the level of Allah.
Yes.
That's how.
That's what I wanted to say. And in this verse, the Quran puts Jesus on the same level as Allah, as one of as a Lord.
Yeah, this is what he warnings like Muslims in this verse. He was more warning Muslims to not do like Christians and Jews, that they were taking these priests and the rabbis as lords. And when he speaks, when he speaks about Lord, the rabbi and the priest being taken as lords, if he was talking about Jesus in that place, he would put it beside this. But Jesus was replaced in that sentence after Allah. So him and Allah, they have to be worshipped. The others, they don't should be worshipped, like the rabbi and the priest. This is the meaning of this verse. And this is if the Muslims follow the rules of the Arabics and try to understand this verse according to the rules of the language of Arabic, they will see that the Quran, he was saying that you can worship Allah and Jesus, but don't worship the priest and the rabbis.
Right.
And I agree with that.
Yes. That this verse is such a trip, man, because this verse in the Quran is saying that Jesus is equal to God. And there's no way around it, And
yeah, tell me why just ask Muslim, tell me why Jesus was after Allah in that. Why he wasn't with the rabbi and the priest?
Well, I'm sure you know this, that in the English translations, he is with the rabbis and the monks. They put him with the rabbis and the monks, but in the Arabic, he's with Allah. He's on the same level as Allah.
Yeah. So they are corrupting the Quran in English. Wow, that's good. That's good that they are corrupting the Quran.
like it could be corrupted any more than it is, but yeah.
Well, it is it's corrupted, and it's corrupting people also.
Yes. And do you know in Morocco, do you know if they use the Hafs Quran?
I think they are using. I didn't touch the Quran for a long time.
Good.
I think it's worse here. I think
the Warsh, yes.
The one that's have like القاف with نقطة واحدة, and the fa is نقطة below. I think it's worse.
Malik, I'm pretty sure that Morocco and Algeria use the Warsh Quran.
Yeah, because
so why haven't you touched the Quran in a long time?
Why do I need to touch it?
I mean, to study it, to be able to talk to
Uh,
Muslims.
no, I study. I do the study online
Mm.
because there is, there is the there is website online and also there is a website in Arabic. It's a good Muslim website. Says books. You can read the books. Al Maktaba they call it. It's a good. I think it's a good source for people that studying.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like you can read the book inside the website. You don't need to download it and it's easy to do search on it. It's like just tap a word and it give you the word. So I don't need to have, but because I do have because I live with my family and we have Qurans. They have many Qurans, but I don't need to touch it.
Yeah.
So I don't have a need. That's all. It's not.
And how does your family react to you?
Uh, they they don't accept it, but they tell you don't tell other people.
Mm.
Just hide it, be quiet, and
Did your family become more religious after you became a Christian?
they are more religious when they start talking to me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if you understand that, it's like when they speak to me about the religion, but most of the time we don't speak about it because
Okay.
they find difficult to talk about with me about it because they know I know more than they know. So
Oh, yeah.
also, so you need to know that here it's like the majority they don't know much about Islam. They
Mhm.
don't read about it. It's like not like us. We search and we go deep on searching. We read books. They don't read. They don't read books. They only go to the mosque. They go to the mosque. They get what and they listen to the TV. And I told you what the kind of program they're talking about. It's like how to do this, how to do this. But they even like if you ask a Moroccan, what is the difference between Al Maliki and Shafi'i? They don't know. Even there was a program. There was a program in a guy was asking people in the street, what are the arkan of Islam? And they don't know. They are Muslims and they don't know what are the pillar of Islam. So my family, it's they are okay because why they tried many things, but it's not in work. So they just say don't show that, don't tell others.
Well,
But
I'm so glad that your country is so open and that you.
it's not, it's not that open
Uh-huh.
because as I said, like if they find like two Bibles or three Bibles with you, they're gonna charge you with you know تبشير. That's عقيدة المسلم.
Is tabshir a dangerous thing? That
Yeah, it's forbidden. Well, even the Pope, the Catholic Pope, he told his followers when he came to Morocco, do not evangelize to people to Morocco.
wow.
So, this is, and also, if you criticize Islam, you can go to jail for that.
Oh,
It's like if you say that you left, like you are apostate. You just don't need to say that. Be apostate, but don't say it in public. And the other thing is the people. It's like the community. It's risky because there are some crazy people. There are
yeah.
some people that accept. They can act. They are okay with it. You can be a Christian, but the majority they get mad and they can do something to you, and the government cannot help you. This is why I tell Moroccans be careful. Don't say that there is a little of freedom, and you need to be wise. So it's still not a free country. It's not a free country. Even in United States. Uh, in United States, you don't have a freedom.
That's
Still,
true.
you know, even Here, I told people, I see in the Bible and the history of the church that God works most when there is a persecution.
Yeah.
I'm not calling for freedom. To be honest, I don't call for freedom. I don't go against like government. Give us the freedom. Give us the freedom.
Yeah.
Because I have already the freedom. Because
Yeah.
you cannot trust government. There is no government you can do and trust it. They can give you with one hand the freedom,
And
and they can kill you with another hand in different way.
yes.
So it's better, it's better to live your life and live accordingly how God teaching you to live, and let the rest for God.
Yes.
Because freedom or no freedom, it's I'm not a fan of like freedom, freedom, freedom. Because even you were talking about the gays, homosexual. They say, who is persecuting gays? Whisper. They can do everything, but now they are the one who is forcing people. It's like, why a homosexual need to go to the church to you know to get married? Why do you ask in churches to go and get married? Who stop you? But they are forcing now people. They want to force people. So there is no freedom. Even people that ask for freedom, when they get their freedom, they will ask you, to lose your freedom. And this is what the homosexual, like you say in the World Cup, the Germany, they want, to force people to accept the homosexual. People don't want to accept it. Why do you want to force them? Leave them. So this game of the freedom, I see it as the devil game, to control people. So because if you look at the history, you see many people were killed under the name of freedom.
Yes.
So for me, I have already the freedom. I'm free from the sin. I'm free from the death. And what freedom I want more than this?
Yes.
As I told you, from 93, 99, I'm used now to live like that.
Yes. Well, Joe Biden is doing a good job to start the persecution because he has Merrick Garland. He's the leader of our Justice Department, and he's really going after Catholics because they're anti-abortion. And oh yeah, they're beginning to persecute. They go after them like the Nazis used to go after the Jews almost. It's terrible what Merrick Garland is doing and Joe Biden. And so, but you know what? Persecution could be good for the church, maybe wake us up a little bit, I mean, it's hard to see it. It's painful to see people treated like that. But
For me, persecution, how I understand persecution, is when the government starts killing people.
Hmm.
That's torturing them. It's like a persecution. Don't talk or say. That's not a persecution. For me, the way how I understand persecution, I think, and I don't think like Biden can do that for Americans now. But I think in the
he can have me arrested and
you can have been arrested. Yeah, but what? Why the Catholic churches also need to wake up.
it's true.
They need to wake up also from inside, so they can to face the devil. You need God,
Yeah.
the true God. You cannot do it by yourself. You need God, and this is how the church started from the beginning. They didn't. The first Christians, they didn't depend on the government to give them the freedom. They didn't depend. They went and did. They worship God. They spread the gospel. They only depend on the. They didn't complain about the government. Oh, the government persecuting us. They
Yeah.
were doing what God told them to do, because this is where we are lacking as Christians in this time. We care about the stuff that doesn't matter, and we leave the things that are. What is matter is to spread the gospel. Spread the gospel. Give people the gospel. Don't care about what's happening. You care, but don't give it a big, you know,
Yeah, it's
a
true.
big concern of your. But put the concern is to preach the gospel. Give people the gospel, because there are a lot of people don't hear the Bible. They don't. And in the Jesus said it. The Bible is clear. It's saying the last time there will be this. There were people will not hear. They will not like the Bible to hear the Bible. He said that there will be fornicator, there will be homosexual, there will be thieves, there will be the sin will be, you know, controlling the world in the last day till he came back, and this is our hope. It's,
Yeah.
when he came back. I'm sorry, brother, if I speak.
Wow. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. It's true. You know, you're living in one of those lions pits over there, and so you know a lot more about it than a lot of us do. So I appreciate your insights. So,
You're welcome.
well, thank you so much, brother, for coming on and sharing your testimony. And
Thank you, and it was good to see you. I'm not coming a lot because I'm a little busy, and so- but I love your ministry, and God bless you, and God bless your ministry, and keep the good work, because you are bringing the truth. I love like seeing videos like this, like people like this, you know, sharing the gospel with love and the truth, not just the love without the truth.
yes,
And thank you, and God bless you, and God bless everyone.
thank you so much, brother. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye bye.